Seemed like yesterday, I was a baby on the street, I took a holiday. I was stepping to the beat, I had to pay my rent. On the Lower East Side, I threw my tag around. Let B-boys take me for a ride. I started writing songs, I kinda got into the groove. They tried to criticize my every single move, but then I realized I had nothing left to lose. It took me by surprise when I became the news. I was fearless like a renegade. I had a feeling that I can't explain. I didn't listen to what people said. I came, I saw, I conquered. I was constant as a northern star. I had a fire burning in my heart. I never gave up, fighting in the dark. I came, I saw, I conquered. Ooh, I came, I saw, I conquered. Ooh, I came, I saw, I conquered. I expressed myself, came like a virgin down the aisle, exposed my naked ass, and I did it with a smile. And when it came to sex, I knew I walked the borderline. And when I struck a pose, all the giggles lost their mind. I justified my love, I made you say a little prayer. They had me crucified, you know I had to take it there. I opened up my heart, I knew the power of goodbye. So a ray of light, music saved my life. I was fearless like a renegade. I had a feeling that I can't explain. I didn't listen to what people said. I came, I saw, I conquered. I was constant as a northern star. I had a fire burning in my heart. I never gave up, fighting in the dark. I came, I saw, I conquered. Ooh, I came, I saw, I conquered. Ooh, I came, I saw, I conquered. I conquered. I saw, I conquered. I was constant as a northern star. I had a fire burning in my heart. I never gave up, fighting in the dark. I came, I saw, I conquered. I came, I saw, I conquered. I came, I saw, I conquered. I saw, I conquered. I came, I saw, I conquered.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It's Game Ass Night, so thanks for listening. This is show number 4. I'm not sure if it's 4 or 5. I've lost track already because I'm old. So I think it's show 4 of 365 days of shows on the Off Limits Show. So thanks for listening to the show. Tonight we're talking about old dogs, new tricks, and talking about old gays and young gays and the relationships between them, and also specific ones that were in the news recently. Also talking about some other things going on with me, and just generally about whatever the hell I want to talk about. So if you haven't seen the show before, you can go to offlimitshow.com. And you can find out more about me there. You can also go to Spreaker.com. You can also listen to the show on iTunes. If you subscribe there to the Gay Mass Show, you'll hear all of the shows there as well. I realized today that the Off Limits Show is not broadcasting on on iTunes, because I have it set up through Spreaker, which is through iHeartRadio, or I have it set up for iHeartRadio. And so if it's broadcast on iHeartRadio, they don't allow you to put it on iTunes. So what I'm doing now is going to put all my shows on Gay Mass and then just copy the show to iHeart, upload it individually. So that way you can hear my shows on iTunes all the time, whatever show I'm doing. Well, iTunes also has Brain Purge, which I also do, which is where I sit around and talk about whatever the fuck I want anyway, just no format whatsoever. But the Gay Mass show is the one I do most often and is the most popular. So be sure to check that out if you want to follow the show on iTunes and put it on your iPod or on your Apple TV or any other Apple product because it's everywhere. So thanks for listening. Anyway, so there's a story about an actor. You've seen him before, I'm sure, in various movies or whatever, and you know him if you saw him. His name's Stephen Fry. He's an actor. He's also a writer. And he's 57 years old, and he is about to marry his partner, Elliot Spencer, who is 27, 30 years his junior. Now, I don't find anything wrong with large age gaps, per se. I think it's fine. I think if you really love the person, then fine. It doesn't matter how old they are, younger or older, as long as they're of age, obviously. But 30 years is a massive difference. And I just think about it from a logistical standpoint and also, from a logical standpoint, practical standpoint, I guess, because for me, so if I dated someone who was 30 years older than me, it would be someone who was 69 years old. Excuse me. And I don't think I would have that much in common with a 69-year-old. Or someone who's 30 years my junior would be 9 years old. So I don't think I would have that much in common with a 9-year-old either. So when you think of it in those terms, it's really difficult to understand the dynamic of this kind of a relationship because it is, two people from vastly different generations who have vastly different outlooks on life, most likely. Now, a lot of times someone can be much more mature than their age. So maybe this Elliot Spencer guy is much more mature than 27 and he's more like a 40-year-old or maybe Stephen Fry is more like a 30-year-old. I don't know in the way he acts and thinks. And sometimes that's the case. And sometimes it works out perfectly fine because of that. I just think I find it to be, I hate to admit it, but whenever I see a spring, winter, whatever the fuck they call it, relationship, summer, spring, summer, winter. What the fuck is it? Spring, winter, spring, fall, autumn. I don't remember what they call them. But anyway, when I see this kind of relationship with this huge age gap, it always makes me, suspect about the younger guy if he's really into the older guy, if he's using him as a sugar daddy, if he's using him to get ahead, if he's using him for whatever his purpose in life may be, or if he just has a daddy fetish or needs an older man as a role model, or that's what he's into, whatever, fine. But for me, I always suspect that it's, oh God, earthquake. Oh my God. That's the 5th earthquake today. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I was going to talk about that on the show too. So I'll skip over to that right now because it just happened. Okay. It's 12:59 in Dallas, Texas. And so if you look around Dallas, Texas, you probably see Irving because Irving's closest to where the epicenter's been all day. On like a National Earthquake Center in a few minutes, I'm sure it'll show up there. But we just had an earthquake again. It was a very small one. But the room is still shaking right now. It's still trembling a little bit. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so today I was actually working out. And doing P90X. As I do. And it was about 3:00 and I was in the middle of a jump, something you do jumps and you do lunges and you do all sorts of shit on P90X with weights and stuff. And so I jumped, and as soon as I came down, the earth shook. So I was like, oh my God, I know I need to lose a few pounds, but I'm not that big. So I was like, oh my God. So I actually was like freaked out because the whole entire house shook and swayed back and forth. and it was really it was very scary. And some things were coming off the walls, not really bad, like flying off, but they were just falling off the walls or whatever. So that was really scary. And then again at 6:00 today, there was another earthquake. And it was harder than the first one. The first one was 3.5. The second one was 3.6. And this is the biggest earthquake I've ever been in. I'm sure people who are listening, who are from like California or places that have earthquakes all the time, real earthquakes all the time, are not probably having any, they're probably laughing at me right now because of 3.5 or 3.6 earthquake in Dallas. But it for someone who's from Dallas and was born and raised here, it's very, very unsettling because it's like, what the fuck? So the second one was a 3.6, and it was really, really rough. It lasted probably, they don't last very long. The ones we had lasted for maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, which doesn't sound like a very long time, but it is a long time when your house is like shaking really violently. So anyway, yeah, earthquakes here in Dallas. And then we had two more very small ones, maybe 1.5 or 2 or something like that. Quick ones like we just had a minute ago here on the air. And later in the night. So that was like the 5th earthquake we just had a few minutes ago here on the air here in Dallas. So it's very freaky. And the thing about it is that most likely the earthquakes we're having are due to fracking. And people get really crazy about it because fracking, they say, is a political issue. I think it's an environmental issue. But some people are freaking out about fracking and saying that fracking is causing earthquakes. And I agree with that. I've watched a lot of documentaries about it and talked about it on my show before as well, and the evils of fracking and how they can really fuck up the earth and cause earthquakes in places that don't normally have them. And even if you have a fault line, like, where I live in Dallas, there is a fault line underneath us, and there's fault lines everywhere, but not literally everywhere, but they're all over the place, whether you have earthquakes or not. And they're not usually active, but if you start fracking, you start forcing water into the ground and to force out the gases and things like that, it fucks up the equilibrium of the earth and the earth's crust. And it's like, the pressure has to go somewhere. And so that's what happens. It shifts the earth's crust and we end up having earthquakes. And there are people, most people who don't believe in global warming or whatever say, oh, it's not fracking. It's just the earth doing its normal thing. These are the same people who support oil companies and, give them tons of money and lobbies and things like that. So, they're a little suspect, of course, but the science is sound on this. And so this is what's happening here in Dallas. We're having these massive, not massive, they're massive to us, to Dallasites, okay? 3.6 is massive to us. It's like fucking scary. But I'm afraid, and I just know that it's going to happen. There's going to be a big earthquake because they've gotten progressively bigger. They started off at 1.5 a year and a half ago or something, and then they went to in the 2s early last year, and now they're in the 3s this year. And so every year they're getting more violent and more scary. So it's a little frightening, and I just know we're gonna have this big earthquake. And the sucky thing is, it's almost impossible to find insurance in Texas that actually carries earthquake insurance. I'm trying to find that here, and it's been almost impossible. And they say when you do find it in Texas, it's really expensive. So I don't know. And the thing is, if an earthquake topples our house, if it goes to the ground, which we're halfway through remodeling and half bricked and everything else, rebricked and everything else, I mean, it's going to really suck because I won't have any recourse. I'll have to pay for everything out of my pocket, which will really suck because, I don't have $500,000 in my, pocket. Sorry. So anyway, that's what's happening. That's what happened a minute ago when I was screaming earthquake. It's like a natural reaction. I just start saying earthquake. Cause what the fuck else do you say or do? You feel so helpless. You're supposed to go under a desk or go under a door jam or something of that nature if you have an earthquake. And, in Dallas, of course, we're totally equipped to have tornadoes because, obviously tornadoes are typical in this part of the country. Although we don't have them very often, they do occur. They're more prolific, I think, in Oklahoma, but they do happen in Dallas too. So, with an earthquake, you go in a basement or you go in a closet or under whatever, at the center of the house. And so I'm prepared for that. But this earthquake thing